Hello, IK here. Welcome to logged in users orders. Users orders. Here is a ban. Look at it is on over on um, mouse is on over. Welcome ban, and the change is what we see. Now we see page customer. Look at here, and the child in that page customer it is because of a role. Role of ban is customer and authorizes for that pages customer and here and it is here. And child of customer is your account of ban account. And here is ban orders and we see all history of all orders of ban. Order ID, total amount, articles, articles. You see this article, uh, 7 quantity, this article. All others by one quantity, etc. Here is 4. In this order is 4 items, 4 articles. Here is 1 articles. Okay, it is can be hide or see if you want to see. It is open here. And now look at how it is programmed. How it is programmed. At first, parent page, parent component is customer. Customer here is import, React, import my orders component. It is child component. And the customer component start here. And we look at, we have only one state, show orders. Initial value of show orders is false, It means that we at first, when you look at down here, false, and my orders, because it is false, we don't see my orders. My orders will be invisible. It is excellent example of example for that logic with the and the door, where one side is always ready, always exists. It is my orders exist, but one side can be false or true. And now when you look at when we look at down, welcome and say important for us is this on click equal arrow function where set show our orders, set it is function what changes show orders. In contrary, with this exclamation mark means no, and it is contrary of existing, of actual state. Actual state now is false in first initial rendering, and we and when we push on click on the button, it will be changed in true. Here it is orders. Orders would be changed in true. And after that, we will see my orders. When parents components here, the customer called, start rendering of that component, start rendering of that, and go down all that. Rendering means execution of statement by statement from top to down, as any programs. And go down, here is a declare destructured assignment, state show orders, and function set show orders. And use state, it is a false use state is a local management, local state management. It is local state show orders. Initial value false would be. go down, all that text would be rendered, and the button would be rendering with false. It is false and don't visible uh, don't visible my orders. But it is interesting that my orders here is rendered. Uh, it is we don't here is a calling. It is tried and it is calling of that component and calling of that component execute. It is there is a no it is not impossible that both side must that left side must be true. No, for it is for rendering. It is child, and of course first rendered child, and after that parent, and after that parent, and it means that on the component customer exists rendered ready to be see my orders and waiting that we on click on button show on button orders. Let's get see again. Here it is. Now with order, it is a toggle switch contrary. Now we don't see when but my orders is rendered and ready to be seen. It is only hide show or by this toggle switch. Orders, click on orders, and it is visible. Click on orders, it is not visible. Again, click in orders. Okay, it is rendering. Customer would be rendered only one times because there is a no use effect, etc. Would be rendered also my customer, my orders. And okay, let's get see my orders is our or your orders. It is our principal topic in this video. We want to see on the in your orders ID of order, amount. It is total amount of order, date of order, and here is articles. What articles we buy in that order? Here it is only one article, but 7 times. You look at quantity 7 times. But here is 4 articles or 4 items, every items by one quantity. Okay, here is a 4. It means that we have a two map, uh, two array, two map. We must map orders. You look at orders, and inside of every in every orders we must map uh, articles, array of articles. It means we have a array of order and array of articles inside every order, because the data flow from database from table orders and order items, order and order items. Every order can have more, one or more, can have many items, many articles. But one articles, there is only one order. In one order, articles can have only one order. Okay, it is one to many relation what work. One order can have many articles. One articles cannot have many orders. One articles is there is only one. You see, here is every articles here. There is one order. But also here, and one order here 28 can have many articles, and the date orders. From table orders coming order ID, total amount, and date of order. And articles, there is, here is articles from, we see articles, what is, it coming, articles only coming from items, from orders, singular, order items. Here is a relationship between order and order items. Order ID is a primary key of table order, and that primary key, because order is one and order items many, one to many, primary key of one side go like foreign key in order items. Here it is, order ID. You look at order ID is foreign key here. Table, there is a oven primary key, it is order item. Order ID is a foreign key. Also, here is a foreign key article ID. Article ID, and it is all about ID. Here is my orders component. Import React. We need here use effect, you will see, and use state, and use selector. Import CSS here. We declare my orders component, equal arrow function. And here in the body of that arrow function, at first we declare state. Declare state user, because we must know, we must have user, because it is orders of a logged in user. Concretely, it is Ben. I think user ID 12. Okay, and we need that state about user. Here we have all properties of user from, we use hook use selector, and we directly our local state user, declaration of user, connected with the value in Redux, with the value of a user in Redux by use selector. And now we declare orders like local state, here it is, and set order. And it is local state because we created it by use state. And here is a initial value empty array. It is the structured assignment. The structured assignment here is orders state. And loading is true and false. Loading, set, load. The structured assignment also use state, and error, set error also use state. Empty array true, we start with the true, loading true, and set and error is null. Okay, let's get down. First, initial rendering would be execution row by row from top to down, processing statement, one by one from top to down. And look at it, would be import React library, use effect and use state, import use selector, import my orders.css, declaration of my orders, constant. The initial rendering is always, it is like we in programming, usually it is usually at first declare variable, and initial rendering means put ready all elements. It means all elements. It is put all variable, put all state, we say, and put all function ready for interaction. Ready for interaction. It means that execution rendering of my orders means my orders is functional component, means it is declaration of my orders functional component equal arrow function. It means when we have a declaration and sign equal in the right side, it means instantiation. It means that constant my orders is declaration, but equal and right side arrow function means instantiation. And it means that in memory go my orders and point, it is reference of arrow function, name of arrow function, a point in position in memory where would be put arrow function and all this in body of arrow function from these curly brackets to uh, to to this last one curly brackets, and it outside of that is export default my orders. We need it because we must import that we can import it where it is import in customer, for example, in our situation. It means that all this from declaration and association, all that go in memory after rendering. Rendering means go in memory and would be ready. My orders would be ready. We can call it, would be ready for calling it, but would be ready for open push on button in customer to see that my orders. And okay, but not means calling is before then happen rendering. It is called from customer component. We see how it is syntax. It is a React element, and it is calling and render. After that, it is rendering. Put it in rendering, and in initial rendering. We see what okay, let's get see what what happened. I said about this. It is interesting that we have combination use state, the structured assignment from local state. So it is use state. Use state is manager of state. Local state. It is different from Redux. Redux is use selector hook is connection to Redux state. It is global state, and it is exist. It is user. We take user because what what user would be in Redux would be lodged in user. In this situation, ban user ID 12. Okay, because lodged in user is in Redux. Because in Redux login, in Redux login state. Okay, use effect, and after your go initial use effect here would be not would be called. It is initial rendering. There is no connection. Initial rendering look at all and execute what can execute. For example, here is nothing for execute now because use effect not call. It would be called after initial rendering. And initial rendering go down and see this, it is declaration and instantiation of fetch orders. Why instantiation? Because there is a right side. A left side is declaration. Equal value. Value is async arrow function, and all this in these curly brackets. It is not execution. It is declaration and instantiation of function. What means declaration? That fetch orders would be put in memory, and it is a name of this arrow function, or it is a name that fetch orders point on other place in the memory where all this right side would be put, uh, would be put, prepare for to be calling, to be calling. And it is, you see, curly brackets, it is separate, declared here, all, but even though this is right like calling, even though this is right as calling, okay, it can be called. Because of that, I must correct myself. Use effect would be skipped, and all in these curly brackets would be skipped. And all here is a finished use effect would be, and here is the end of a use effect. It would be skipped because use effect is not called in initial rendering. And here is would be initial rendering, nothing interesting. It is only, of course, you see why loading start initial value with true, because if loading exists, but loading exists, it is true in initial rendering, we have loading orders. Yeah. We have loading orders because it is process of instantiation, all this code. It is process of initial rendering. And we waiting that initial rendering finished, and what happened after that also that finished, we will see. And the error is null, it is error. But because it is very, we don't call direct, we have a customer and it is a child and it is very fast, we never see loading orders. Okay, return. We are in initial rendering, process of initial rendering. And of course, here is, we see this text. Here is JavaScript. If orders, it means orders array length equal 0. If it is true, it means that there is no orders. And if there is no orders, we will see you have no orders yet. But if exist orders, after column, we will see complete that orders in this table. You see it is head of table, order ID, total articles date. And here is orders map method, orders array orders map method. There is a parameter array, parameter arrow function where order is parameter of arrow function, and in body we have order ID, order total amount, order ID, order ID, order total amount, see, and date would be in the end. After that, we have order items, a map of that array, and article, we will see that article for every order. And index, it means that always we must, in every map, we must have index. And here is for order items, we don't put order items ID, but we put index. It means that React will attach index, some index, and it would be okay. It is key. And here it is the key in every HTML li element. And all article name would be in li element, how many there. And here it is multiply article quantity. It is not multiply, it is x. It is x article quantity. It means order and order items or article. And in the end, we have a date. We will see date when happen order, when order happen, order date. Okay. And we see order and order items, order articles, all is here. It is first initial rendering. We don't see it, what I said. And the initial rendering finished. We don't, initial rendering only prepare this return, but a return would be happen when, okay, but data, data orders and orders item still in this moment after initial rendering not exist, and we don't see this it because after initial rendering we have event component was mount, and that event call use effect. And now we can go in second rendering in use effect. And if you know user return stop program, user must be. And here is a function. Function, and inside of use effect, declaration of function and instantiation. Declare instantiation, it means put name of function in memory and point that reference dot name point to other place in memory where would be all other, that body of that function. It is created here, declaration instantiation, and here we call it, we call fetch orders. It is syntax for call a function fetch orders. Just after declaration, we call it, would be called that function. And the use effect would be called again only if user changed. It is a finished process. Second rendering, and fetch orders is declare, fetch and instantiate, fetch orders is calling, and what means what that function does. Here it is. We declare response variable object. We use await, async await, and fetch. You see, it is not Axios, it is fetch. It is native in React. We don't need install it. And the future is that fetch is future of React, because it would be developed more and more. And that fetch, it is look at, we must look at here, it is endpoint address. orders, localhost 5000 through orders. It is, we find orders, but question mark means query. Uh, uh, Means query user ID is variable equal value of variable. Concretely, now it would be user ID equal 12 because Ben is user ID here is with the dollar. It is variable in our momentary situation. It is 12 equal 12, and after question mark, it is a query. Uh, if we have only number without question mark, when we have one, it is params. It is two object of request body, request SQL, request params. Okay. In this situation, backend will see this combination as with after question mark as SQL object. We will see when we go to back. Now we are in front end. Here is interesting that our front end, we don't go by Redux to Redux to tank function. We go directly to backend to Express, directly to Express. Why? Because we don't need this like state in Redux, like global state. We ask SQL query, we only ask orders for this concretely user. And it is only would be show when that user is lodged and only for his eyes on the page, concretely now customer. Not in other place. In Redux, we put state what every component can subscribe to if need. But this is only for one concretely user who is lodged in component customer here. And because of that, we request send to backend to Express directly from this orders component. Not we don't need tank function. Okay. And now, if all is okay, here we have would be response. You can see what we would in response would be only metadata about response. It is interesting, and important would be okay if, or would be failed. But if okay, if not okay, if not response dot okay, if not exist properties, variable okay, value inside of response, we will have error. We throw new error, failed to fetch orders. Contrary, we declare data. Now, it is not in Axios. In Axios, here we have two await. One await, and again data. Response.data. Data await for response JSON and await. It means that this only metadata about response, and for us here is okay, important. And here you can see that by console log what we, and in data here would be complete orders and items of every orders. Orders and item of every orders. Complete what we need. It was here would be meta. Why we have two times? Why we don't use only one time? Because at first, need time, it is not momentary here, but need time to uh, to we must await that process, asynchronous process, to have this in response method data. And if not okay, we stop process. We don't wait for data. If all is okay, we declare data and again await, because there is can be many orders, and it is we must await also. Here we await because it is asynchronous, but now here also we await because that from response that coming that response coming in JSON format, but it is not momentarily in data, because can be a lot of orders and need times to put all orders and items in data. But it is a fetch. Okay, it is fetch. It is not Axios, and it is something. It is some new. Mm, it coded ChatGPT, and I rest it like it, control and rest it like it uh, for learners and the students that see fetch also, not only Axios. That be friendly with the fetch also. And in all this application of e-commerce, I have in some places fetch, more Axios, but in some places fetch. And now here we see fetch also. Um, okay, data. And set orders. That data, where is the orders and items, by function set orders, we now have orders, state orders, full of orders and items. We catch try catch, it is structured try catch, set error if exists error message, and finally set loading to false. You see, we must go all that process, and if all is okay, it means data coming, data visible, and set loading files, and after that we can see data what coming on the screen. False set loading must be false, because if set loading is true, we see loading and the three dots. It is a function, and that function was called by this. And now we have all data. We have a user, but here is if no user, we will see please log in. And but it is all that we cannot, if we have not a user, we cannot yes, I have I can manually here it is. I can, for example, I can manually type customer, but user not lodged, and would be I must be lodged. User must be lodged because customer. Some users have access. User must be customer role, and when lodged, would be customer on the. But if I manually type customer or but not rule, uh, not authorized for customer, customer will not be shown. Would be shown not authorized because this this user control is uh, I don't need this because of course user must exist. It is conditions before anything, before open customer or dashboard uh, uh, page. But okay, now okay, and now is it interesting that how look express? We call orders. We call orders, and we get orders. Let's get let's, here it is. Here it is. These orders and all other. Look at in orders. Here it is. Orders. Get orders. Here is the address orders and the asynchron. Here is the asynchron process. Request response is two object, what is parameter here of arrow function. And in arrow function would be all what we code in arrow function is about request and response. Response always request. In hypertext transfer protocol, we have request and response object. And request, look at request catch in query variable, in query properties, catch all other question mark, and it is user ID. It is destructured assignment. Destructured assignment. Object, here we declared object, and equal request query. Request query, in query. And now we have user ID. It is what come in here, and it is catched in request query. You remember I spoke request body, but question mark. After that, we request that part by query, request query, and request param exists, but not now. Also here, we don't see, we see only orders, but our fetch, and there you see after orders question mark and user ID equal variable, equal value of user ID. Okay, it is always, we write, it is better for debugging, always write debug, always look at for possibility of error, no user ID, and return user ID is required. Fetch orders. Now it is interesting. SQL query is always interesting. And we have two. One, one and second. First is first we call all orders. Select from all asterisk means all orders. from orders table, where user ID equal question mark. It is first sending from Express to MySQL, and after that sending value, concretely value, it would be 12. But here is not finished. Order by order date, descending. It means last date, last order is top, and first order is down on the bottom of the list. For user ID, okay, we can try this query. Control C. Here it is, SQL. Control V, semicolon, and here instead of question mark, I put the number 12, and the down is go. Look at, we have a two order ID 29 and 28. Order date, total amount, user ID. Here is user ID 12. That user have two order totally. It is order. Go back to see what happened. That orders we put in variable orders, declare variable orders, and by await, never mind, we can a lot of time write await, here await, again await, here await. Query asynchron, it is a function what convert our SQL callback in promise callback, because we have here asynchron await, but all Express, I use SQL callback. And now for this situation, I need promise. And this query async, what I can show later, query async convert this SQL query convert in promise callback. It means promise object will have okay, all is okay, all would reject, all would be rejected. Here it is. We see that orders, we have two orders, and that two orders is here. It is it would be array. And now when we have orders, now we go to fetch order items. And here is a loop for, where we declare here in this parenthesis, we declare order variable of orders this orders just before declared and fill with orders. And it means orders is array, and we declare variable orders in every loop must have some inside variable what will change value, or their changed value depend about how many items would be in. Here we have two orders, and loop go first order, and after that solve this in body. It means first order, and for that first order, declare order items. And we have two order items. And await again, query async, and again select all items for that order. All items for that order. You see, we have order ID. Order ID, because this order we take of orders, we take ID, order ID, and every order is ID, is order ID, and every order have properties. It is object with properties order ID, and order ID first time, order ID second time, but order ID, with that order ID, we call this SQL. And look at what we have with this SQL. But instead of question mark, 12, semicolon. Go. And we have return empty result. No, not well. No. We must order ID. It is user. We must order ID. I'm going to see here in or the orders. Order user ID 12. Order ID 28, 20, 29. Look at 28, 29. Okay, 28, 29. Now again, SQL. 28, semicolon, go. 28, we have 4 articles, 4 items. And the 29, you look at quantity, or is quantity 1. Here is 4 article, and 29 29, we have 2 articles, semicolon, go 2. Quantity 7, 1, only 1. For 29, only 1. Okay, we can see that. Oh, here, We can see that here. Okay, this one, only one for 29 ID. There is one article, and here for 28 we have four article. Four article. Here it is. Four article. Back to here. Order ID. Now, look at order items is one times it is only one article, one items, and in second it is four items. It is array. And here, after finish that loop, after finish that loop, we have order items for every order. We have order items because we must look at this is parenthesis from asynchron function, query asynchron. But curly brackets is important. And when finished order items for one order, that array would be put order items would be put in items. Look at now how we there is a no declare because order is declared here, constant order. But that order, we create dot items, variable properties, and in that items, we put order items. It means one time put only one items, second time for second order would be four items. It is interesting that these properties is variable as any variable. And this moment we create properties for object order. We declare order, and now practically we declare, but we don't need to declare properties. And in that properties, we put for order items. And after this, we response JSON orders. Orders here it is. We updated items instead of articles name. We updated every order with items, but order is only one member of array orders. This is array orders. We have concretely two members of that array orders. But but here we put in every order because this every order by order is members of array orders. And it is concretely, we know all about that order. And we put items here and order items every time for every order. We put in items. One order will have only order items of that order because of this loop process. loop is in curly brackets. Every order must go through process of inside of curly brackets. And second order, third order, we have two order. Order dot items, when every member have items properties, now is member is richer. It is a member, but now after this looping, every member there is items, and we have order, and we have dot items, and now that orders. Look at here. That orders we response. We response in JSON format. That orders, it is array orders with the two order, but every order there is items. It is this is moment very 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 confused for beginner who fallen down from blue sky, uh, but who look at in this video is not beginner. He's very advanced, and you see how it is. Simplicity can be confusing. It is simplicity. There is no lot of coding. There is no lot of, here is orders. After these orders, where we have only two orders, we have this looping. When every orders, we put items, and after that, we call it orders. But here, that orders exist here. It is not invisible. And all this together is not really fallen from the blue sky. It's not really confused like declarative. Declarative programming can be confused. In a lot of places, declarative programming was more confused. We have orders, we have order, and we put items to every order. And in that items is order items. And it would be response. We see response by JSON if all is okay. And would be send in response object would be a response to our front-end React. And let's see again what coming in front-end. In front-end in front-end. My orders 20, you see array to array. It is order. And my orders 17. Look at here. Let's go to let's see here. is my orders. Here it is, my orders. Look at fetch, 17 response, 17 response, and 20 data. Here is would be C data, and here would be C response. Okay, we can refresh. And I must log in again. Then this is login stopped because session expired. I think it is very short time, 15 minutes. No, I don't. Never mind. Password here, Ben. Login. Here it is. Yes, the login. Now, when I orders, put in orders, and now see your orders, and now I can see my orders 17, and my orders 20. Okay, in my orders 17, it is response. Look at it is response. Here we have metadata. Response, look at it is 70. Status 200, it is always okay. Status 200, look at okay. Okay, but if I close this and wider, you see that in 17, here it is, you see type pour le ID 12, user ID 12, redirect, false, 200 status, okay, that status is, and here is okay. But in second, in data, we see two array, and every of orders, this one orders, there is, look at it is order ID, user ID, orders date. But when I open it, uh, order ID 20, but open order. Here are items. Look at items 0 and 1. It is indexing. It is numbering of members of array. Start from 0 and 0. Here is items. There is only one article 56, quantity 7, this one, price, name, etc. We take in our return, we take only article name. Items here. I must open items to see one article ID and complete this name, quantity. And here, second order, order like this, and second items, here it is. It is 4. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4 articles or items. Here is a 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Here is all about, here is a 4 article. Quantity, always 1. Yes, here is, oh, I can see every of that. Okay. Okay, I finished with this video, this explanation. Here is interesting that order.items item. Here is interesting that from front end, React Redux are front end. But this moment, we don't use Redux for this state because this state only interesting this user, concretely lodged user. And in Redux Go only state what can subscribe any component in React. React and Redux is front end. Express is backend. It is Express is a web application coded in JavaScript and published and upload to Node server and communicate with database and communicate with front end. With the front end, and front end is front component is React and Redux together. Here we only use React to communicate with API from React, communicate with the backend Express. Express communicate with MySQL as usually. And here is interesting that SQL request can have a body, can have properties body, SQL params, and today we see SQL. It means that if I want some analytics or concretely query, I can write as many query as I need in some analytic pages. In some analytic pages of this e-commerce, and of course with include graphical. That every SQL we need only for that analytics, of course, access to which have only authenticated and authorized person, and that SQL query, a lot of SQL query for analytic only need for analytics and would not go to Redux, would not go to Redux. But the management of e-commerce will have all questions what can ask any questions from database. But for me would be interesting how in all of this of that what role today play artificial intelligence in that, because this moment I see that analytics complete with that I don't need artificial intelligence, but because it is interesting what offer us artificial intelligence on that SQL query from on all data, possible data from database, on that analytics, what can give us artificial intelligence, because we can we of course in in graphs. We can see trend. We don't need artificial to say as a trend on every graph. Okay, we will see that in the future now, but not long future because my e-commerce uh, is very near the end of the first, I can call it first version, and there is a, uh, there is a lot of features what can be useful for for e-commerce, small and middle, uh, but it is open for developing in every directions. Okay, it's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.